How to manage time. A Stoic guide to life's most precious resource, time. It slips through our fingers like sand, no matter how tightly we grasp it. Every day it diminishes, moving us closer to the unknown, to the inevitable end. Yet we live as if time is infinite, as if we have years, decades, and eternity to waste. But deep within, we know the truth. Our time is finite, fragile. It is the most valuable thing we possess, and yet we often squander it. The question is, how can we manage it wisely? The Stoics, masters of rational living, saw time as life itself. They believed that how we use our time reflects how we value our existence. To truly live, we must not merely exist, but live with intention, mindfulness, and discipline. As Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Let us explore the path to reclaiming our time, and in doing so, reclaiming our lives. 1. Recognize the value of time. The first rule of mastering time is to recognize its worth. We often place a higher value on money, possessions, or status than on time itself, forgetting that all of these things can be regained if lost. But time cannot. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote in his Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." We must embrace the truth that every moment is precious because it could be our last. This realization should not lead us to fear, but to live with greater purpose and presence. If we continue to treat time carelessly, we will one day find ourselves looking back, realizing we have wasted years, decades, perhaps a lifetime. Our first task is to see time as the treasure it is. 2. Focus only on what is within your control. Time management is not about controlling every minute detail of life. The Stoics remind us that many things are beyond our control. External events, the actions of others, even time itself. What we can control, however, is how we respond to these events and how we choose to spend the time we have. Epictetus teaches, "We must make the best use of what is in our power and take the rest as it naturally happens." We often waste time on things we cannot change, worrying about the future or regretting the past. But time spent on worry and regret is time lost. Instead, the Stoic way is to focus on the present, to act with intention in each moment, and to let go of what is beyond our influence. 3. Live fully in the present moment. One of the greatest thieves of time is distraction. Our minds are constantly drawn away from the present by thoughts of what could have been or what might happen next. But time is only real in the present moment. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. If we are to manage time well, we must learn to be fully present. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Do every act of your life as though it were the last act of your life." When we approach each moment as if it is our final one, we cut away distractions, and trivial concerns vanish. We stop wasting time on things that do not matter, and we begin to invest our energy in what truly does. Each moment is an opportunity to live with purpose, to engage with life fully. 4. Guard your time as you guard your life. If we saw time as life itself, we would be far more careful with how we spent it. Too often, we give our time away to trivial tasks, meaningless distractions, and the demands of others. We say yes when we should say no. We allow ourselves to be pulled in every direction, our time slipping away unnoticed. Seneca warns us, people are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. We must learn to say no to what does not serve our higher purpose. This does not mean we should neglect our responsibilities or turn away from others. It means we must become mindful stewards of our time, choosing to spend it on what aligns with our values and contributes to our growth. 5. Plan. but do not be bound by plans. A Stoic manages time by having a clear sense of direction, but also by remaining adaptable. Life, after all, is unpredictable. To rigidly adhere to a plan is to set ourselves up for frustration. The Stoics advise us to plan, but with flexibility, knowing that external circumstances may change. As Epictetus put it, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. We should wake each day with a clear intention, knowing what we wish to accomplish. But we must also accept that things will not always go as planned. The key is to remain focused on our goals while being open to change, knowing that true strength lies in adaptability. 6. Do not postpone. Living procrastination is one of the greatest enemies of time. We convince ourselves that there will always be more time, that we can start living tomorrow, next week, or next year. But the Stoics remind us that tomorrow is not guaranteed. Begin at once to live, Seneca urges, and count each separate day as a separate life. The time to live is not in some distant future when circumstances are perfect or when we feel ready. The time to live is now. We must stop delaying what matters, whether it's pursuing a passion, nurturing a relationship, or developing ourselves. The present moment is all we have, and to postpone living is to waste the gift of time. 7. Reflect on your use of time. At the end of each day, the Stoics practiced self-reflection. They would ask themselves, how have I spent my time today? Have I lived according to my principles? Have I wasted moments on things that do not matter? This practice of daily reflection allows us to course correct and make sure we are living in alignment with our values. As Marcus Aurelius advised, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. And at night, we must look back and ask ourselves if we have honored that privilege, if we have made good use of the time we were given. Conclusion. Time is life in the end. The Stoic view of time is a reminder of the brevity of life and the importance of living with intention, discipline, and purpose. Time cannot be managed in the way we manage tasks or schedules. It is a force that flows without our consent. But we can manage ourselves. We can choose to live with presence, to focus on what we can control, and to guard our time as the precious gift it is. As we walk this path together, let us be mindful of how we spend each moment. Let us not waste time on trivialities, but invest it in what matters. Let us live now fully without delay, for time is life itself, and how we use it defines who we are.